Hey everybody, welcome to this week's vlog, and this one is another great story, and you're going to enjoy it. Just a little snippet from a Monday night call with the owner forum member who just recently closed on another deal. It's not even his first deal. I believe this is could possibly be his third deal. 88-unit property in Kansas City, Missouri. But what we are going to give you here in this weekly vlog is a little snippet where we talk about the repair allowance. Now, if any of you have been following me along, I think you can go back into a lot of my old YouTube videos. There's one in there where I said, never, 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 never ask for a repair allowance in the letter of intent. And I give my reasoning for that. And it's pretty darn good reasoning, I'll tell you right now. And if anything, it is held out to be even better reasoning or solid when you listen to what my owner forum member here, Mark Rios, is going to share with you when we talk about the repair allowance. Now, what you're probably going to miss when Deb puts this whole package together is the beginning of the call where I introduce Mark. And for those of you that would like to kind of get a flavor for what we talked about, do a Google search on Mark Adair Rios, A-D-A-I-R, Rios, R-I-O-S, and check out his IMDb page. Yes, that's right. That's right. The owner forum members are a vast and incredibly distinguished group, and Mark is no different. Owning multifamily, being a real estate investor is just part of what he does. You may have already seen some of his work, so check him out on IMDb and enjoy this week's vlog, and hope to see you all soon. Well, let's talk about that before we move on. As far as CapEx or repair allowance, what did you ask for? What did you get? How'd that go?
So we didn't ask for, we don't typically ask for anything.
Yeah.
We don't ask for any repair allowances, but we always do that. We know how cautious everybody needs to be with retrading, right? You don't want to go out and just start throwing, trying to get concessions everywhere. That being said, the way we set it up, and this is an old thing that some people might know, from the old teachers of yore, that you go in and you all the things that you suspect, you try to set them up. So verbally, or you try to get in writing. We always say, like, we had heard that something might have been wrong with the pool equipment. So we go in and we just ask them a few times and try to get in writing, hey, is there anything wrong with the pool? They say no. If something comes up in due diligence, to us, that's a legitimate thing to go back to them and be like, guys, you said nothing was wrong here. We underwrote this, and now we got to spend an additional, $5,000. So one thing that came up in our due diligence was one building. So in this community, there's two phases. The first phase is down below on kind of a hill. It's on the smaller part of the hill. And it was built with a crawl space underneath the apartment buildings, each of the buildings. And in those crawl spaces, they had sump pumps. Well, evidently, this owner is a banker, and they allowed those sump pumps to stop working. And so the way that the water was draining, it was going down underneath into the crawl spaces. The problem with that is when you have those crawl spaces, you have support beams that are underneath there, and they started rusting out. And so some of the buildings started to shift, right? And they were replacing them one at a time, but they weren't really fixing the whole situation. So we had a building that started to shift a little bit. And when we showed up for our due diligence, like, I noticed it right away. It was like a Harry Potter house. It was like, what the hell? And so the broker was standing right next to me, because we had gone through this whole thing, and I was asked, so what other money should we put in deferment? Oh, nothing, don't worry, just your normal stuff, landscaping, whatever. We got there, and he's standing next to me, and I'm like, dude, this building's crooked. What the hell's going on? And he's just like,
Oh,
yeah, and then I saw a crack in the cement. I'm like, oh my God, the foundation's all messed up. And then then he started kind of like, oh yeah, I gotta make a phone call. And he made a phone call. Anyway, we had our
well, let me just say that for those of you that I've done, obviously, my due diligence class, But also that I did, somebody asked me to do a class on, what do you do when you go out looking at a property? How do you look? And one of the things I always say is you got to watch where the water goes. And as soon as you said, Mark, that you got properties at different levels, I thought you've got a rain problem, especially down there. You've got, with the tornadoes and the violent
Absolutely.
rain, where does that water go? And you had better check that out before you buy it. So, and because, not the only thing that can kill a property faster than a sex offender is water. So I don't know where the water goes.
So that's such a good point, right? On these older buildings, the things, in my opinion, and I'm not an expert in this area by any means, I'm still learning, but what I've noticed is looking at the size of the gutters, the roof line, and seeing how the gutters, they should be kind of angled, so the gutters angle outwards, you have your downspouts, and then how are the downspouts getting away from the building? If they just have the gutter portion and there's no extension getting it away from the building, there may be issues. And so checking the foundations, really literally seeing if anything shifted, looking for cracks in the walls, any of that stuff is so important on these older buildings. It's so important.
All right, now Brendan Chisholm asked a question: should repair allowance be factored into an LOI? I think you and I are on the same page. You don't put it in the LOI, but during the process and during the question and answer period, that's when you start to build up your case against adding more money at the term. Because from a strategy standpoint, the guy's now been tied up into this contract with you guys for probably coming up on 60 days, not maybe 30-day inspection, but before that there was negotiation process. He's now into this thing for 60 days. If he loses you, he's going to start the ball rolling all over again. And now, and the thing is, he's 30 days away from the closing date. He smells money. So you come to him saying, hey, we got to fix these things. You're in a much better negotiation position than you were at the LOI stage.
It's so true. And, so from the very beginning, when I first get a package from a broker, my first email or message to them is, hey, we're underwriting this thing. Is there any other deferred maintenance or things like that I should make sure that they pencil in? And so they usually will say, you might throw a little bit of money here, some money here, and things like that. And that gives a rough question.
Excellent question.
And then
if you put that in an email, so you've got the documentation. That's
totally
great. I love that.
And then I'll ask. I'll also ask. So if they have a proven value add plan, just to verify, sometimes they'll put in the OM, like some brokers will put in the OM what they spent. But if I see that they've already done some renovations, I say, that renovation package, what were they spending to get, that $100 premium? And they'll usually say, pencil in about $4,500, $5,000. This is what it was, rollout vinyl, blah, 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 that stuff. So back and got a seller credit for that foundation issue. And for the, we got a little, we put some roofs and the foundation crawl space issue and put them together, and we got $50,000 off of the purchase price as a credit.
Okay. Now what is a credit? Just a credit off the price, not cash at closing? No,
just a quick credit. To be honest, because we're syndicating, we're not really getting cash. We're just lowering the amount that we have to raise to bring the closing, basically.